Last week we took a look at this thing, the Porsche 911 Carrera 2 by Gunther Works. Today we're going to look at yet another exclusive Porsche that looks a bit like a squashed beetle. No, really. Because today we're taking a look at the Porsche Cabriolet Emory Special from 1960, also known as the 356C. This thing starts out in B class with 220 horsepower, 181 foot-pounds of torque. It's quite light, weighing only 2,150 pounds, has a front sort of weight balance of, I believe that is 41 something, and it has a displacement of a 2.25 litre engine. And if you want one yourself, winter of the dry season in Series 10, 20 points will land you one of these, so you can go drive it. But in case you want to know what you can do to this thing before you get one, well, this video is for you, keep watching. First off, we've got this thing that, like I say, looks like a squashed Volkswagen Beetle. Moving to the inside, that is a lot of silver. Okay, what is... I will zoom in editing, but what is that? Moving swiftly on, I think this thing only has one mirror, which is just there. There's nothing over the right hand side, which is kind of interesting. And now let's go ahead and take a listen to how it sounds. For a small car, it certainly makes a very big noise. So going over to conversion, we have quite a fair few things. This time we can do an engine swap, a drivetrain swap, and also we can either turbo or supercharge this thing. But first, engine swaps. What do we have? We have, oh, okay, I'm pleasantly surprised. We've got the just 2 litre flat 4 turbo. We've got a 2 litre flat 4 turbo rally. I believe those two are both Subaru engines. We also have a 2.7 litre flat 6 and a 4 litre flat 6. We'll come back to these. In terms of aspiration, which was the big fancy word I was looking for earlier, we have a single turbo and we have the option of a supercharger. Looking at aero, we've got, well, just boring Forza aero for the front, and I believe probably, yeah, boring Forza aero at the back. I cannot words, bear with me. But what we're going to do with this thing is we're going to make this thing into an A-class race build, so let's go ahead and do that and then take a look at the paint. Also, can I just mention 275s on this thing that look huge. Okay, so just having a look through the exhaust upgrades really quickly. Take a listen to the stock one. And then this interesting race exhaust. I think I might keep that, honestly. Another thing I thought I might point out. For some weird reason, this car has a tow hook that is just slightly shorter than the exhaust pipe. So before we go and take this thing racing, let's take a look at the paints. Going to advanced, we have nothing. And then going to manufacturer paints, we have just the one. That's kind of a shame, really. I was honestly hoping for more. However, this is also Series 10, so we do now have Spectra Flame paint. So let's go and put this thing in a green. It was while looking back through this footage that I'd figured out I had just basically made a small Hot Wheels car. So we're back at the Descenza Dorado Sprint, and also if you have any ideas for some future road racing tracks I can use for showing off cars like this, do go ahead and let me know, because you've used this one quite a lot. Anyway, you've beaten the Corvettes off the line, and let's see, we're up into 7th already. This thing's actually kind of speedy. There goes the Lotus, we'll have your spot, thank you very much. And can we see a way past a lot of these cars without... Never mind. We can't get past without hitting the wall, but we can certainly get past at least most of the field. That is a very angry Lotus Elan, but, oops. Anyway, there's another one up here, so let's go and try and see if we can get past that one before the bend. This thing, for what it is actually surprisingly good. We'll go past the BMW, past our German friend, and slam on the brakes. That was nearly too late, but we somehow managed to save that. So now what we've got to do is go ahead and get past, I think that's another Nissan in front, so if we can get past that, then hopefully this thing could prove its worth. It's certainly very... Ow, I was about to say good things about you. I was going to say you were good at turning. And now back to our favourite little flat twisty section. I love going through here. It is indeed another Nissan, and we have got past it on the outside, which is a tricky thing to do. Oh, please steer. Okay, so now it's a 91% progress with the green blob. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this thing across the line in first, because those cars are right behind us. Down to 95, which is where I usually head in from this. There's a fun fact for you. But let's go ahead and take this thing across the line sideways in style to go ahead and claim ourselves a first place in that race. That was actually really good. I'm kind of surprised. So the little green blob has certainly made its mark on track racing, but how's it going to do when it comes to drag racing? Because we're going to go ahead and throw in the flat 4 litre flat 6, and we're going to go ahead and put all-wheel drive and I believe so. Yes, there is a twin turbo swap for this thing. Launch takes it up to a 10. But now we've got to go and put drag tyres and all sorts of tuning on it. So I will do that and meet you right back after I've sorted that. Okay, so here we are now. It's just barely scraping under 1,000 brake horsepower at 957 or thereabouts. Here is our little Porsche Emory 356C Cabriolet. And in 3, 2, 1, away we go. This thing was still a little chirpy off the line. But let's see what it can do. It's very, very light, so that might make up for the horsepower difference. We see, even though it's got under 1,000, 204 through the camera. That... The squash bug has confused me. So the game has decided to be a little bit of a pain and had the sun set while I was mid building this car up, so there's going to be a little bit of flashing lights coming from the road, but let's go ahead and find out what the top speed of this little thing is going to be. It is in rear wheel drive. We're back to 957 brake horsepower. Oh dear, I'm scared. Oh, that's slidey, that's slidey, that's slidey. Get out the speed zone, 250. Okay, that's good. Now we have to go and see what it does on the downhill. So going through the camera at 260, and now we're going downhill at 261, 262, 263. Can we beat that record of yesterday? Well, last video I should say of the Porsche. We did. We get 265. That is an absolute mess of words. But the previous Porsche managed to get 263, and we've just beaten that by 2 miles an hour. The one thing I noticed was I painted the body of the car. It also paints part of the interior too. And the sun starts rising, of course, as I finish the main segment. Thanks, game. And now, of course, we round out these videos the way we usually round them out, with going and seeing how this thing performs in a drift zone. Let's go up to the edge of our favourite one and go and slide the squished bug. I'm going to call it that to the end of this video. And I guess it didn't like that because it's gone and spun. Well, take number 2. Let's try and see what we can get this time. We're going into the drift zone. We've just got to hope that this thing does not want to spin out on us, because if it does, then, well, it's going to be a little bit of a pain. We've got 36,039 points there. We've got to try and go back the other way now and try and see if we can beat that. So let's see if we can. Thankfully, it's gotten brighter. My console has just had an absolute fit, but we should be a-okay now, I hope. That was not your video. That was literally my console deciding it had had enough of everything. So going back through here again, only 35,235 points towards the end there, but it seems that around 36,000 could be what this thing averages. But honestly, it's still a nice looking little car. And because I want to stress test my capture card and I can hear a helicopter overhead, I think everybody's found me. Let's go ahead and leave that video there. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed. This car is definitely very much worth it. It's a very speedy little thing. Like I say, it did look like a squished beetle, but I kind of like that about this thing. And that is quite the photo. Let me hop into photo mode real quick. Ah, perfect. Look at that. But honestly, yeah, this car is a pretty cool little vehicle, and I highly recommend that you go and get one of these yourself. And yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And let me know in the comments what you think to this car, because I'll be interested to see what you think. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Tech out. Now that's the thumbnail right there.